A few months ago, this security video from Miami International Airport was released. It shows TSA agents stealing $600 from a passenger's wallet as their bags were going through security. This was part of a plot two TSA agents allegedly engaged in to steal from people's purses and wallets while the owners were being screened. One agent would distract the owners, while the other would nonchalantly unzip purses and slip cash out of wallets sitting in bins before going through the X-ray machine. Now, obviously, these TSA agents weren't the brightest because they should have realized they were in the direct line of sight of security cameras, and fortunately, the security camera footage was being reviewed. The person reviewing the footage wasn't in on the scam, and investigations are now underway to determine the innocence or guilt of these agents. But there are many places and instances around the world where that wouldn't be the case, where the footage wouldn't be reviewed, there wouldn't be footage, or there would just be so much corruption that you would never realize that your things are missing until it is way too late. And after you do realize it, even if you do get a chance to go back to airport security, the moment is gone. The best way to protect your valuables from theft when going through airport security is to prevent it from happening at all. I'm going to show you the things that you should do the next time you're in an airport to make sure that your stuff and your valuables stay safe. Hi everybody, foXnoMad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter by showing you some precautions you can take the next time you're going through an airport security line to make sure that you're not robbed when you least expect it. And it turns out that robberies in airport security lines aren't all that uncommon. Statistics worldwide are hard to come by, but it's estimated 100 to 400 TSA workers have been fired for theft, and in 2012, a TSA agent was sentenced to 2 years in prison for stealing $800,000 worth of items from passengers at Newark Airport. And these are just TSA agents who have been caught, where their crimes were recorded, and they were prosecuted. The actual number is likely to be a lot higher, and there are probably a lot more agents who get away with these crimes than are actually caught. So like you would do anywhere in the world, whether you're sightseeing or at home in your own city, you've got to protect your valuables when you're going through airport security. Let's take a look at this footage again, and let me point out a few things. First, this is airport security at what looks like a fairly busy day. A lot of people arrive at the airport in a heightened state, frantic sometimes, and with the additional chaos around you, it's easy to lose your focus. That's what any thief wants, a distracted target so they can successfully commit the crime without being noticed or caught. So the first thing that you should try to do is reduce your anxiety and stay focused when you're at the airport. And the best way to do those two things happens with preparation and planning before you even leave the house. That means packing your carry-on bags thoughtfully. Don't put liquids or aerosols over the allowance limits and have them zipped up in their own plastic bags. What you're doing here is preparation. Placing them near the zippers means they'll be easily accessible, and by planning to remove them, you aren't caught off guard by agents yelling at you to
remove all liquids from your bags.
It's honestly quite shocking how many people show up at an airport and seem confused, like they've never heard about airline restrictions when it comes to liquids in carry-on luggage. So they show up and they're just like frantically trying to find like the small little toothpaste they have or this water bottle, they're trying to get rid of it. And even if you haven't been to an airport in like 30 years, you should still know the rules at every specific airport that you're going to be flying through before you get there. Your goal is to make the process as smooth as possible for you and remove any confusion that may arise. Back to the footage, you can see these TSA agents are slowly making their way through people's stuff, even though there are people all around. This passenger even makes eye contact with one of the TSA agents as he's going through a purse and appears to be asking him a question. But the passenger is distracted. Notice how he's taking his shoes, belts, and hat off at the last second. Then he forgets something in his pocket. It looks like it could be a wallet. Then he moves back to the X-ray line. Luckily for this guy, based on the footage, it looks like the TSA agent is already too busy stealing from another bin, but this guy put himself at a higher risk of theft. Have you noticed what he did wrong? First thing, he had too many things to take off. Don't wear a hat to the airport, it's useless, and if it's cold outside and you do need a hat, when you arrive, take it off your head and put it in your backpack. 2, avoid pants or outfits that require a belt. It's just one less thing that you have to do. That's going to save you time when you're going through airport security and give you more mental bandwidth to notice all the things that are going on around you. And 3, wear comfortable shoes, preferably without laces, at least that's my preference because they're easy to slip on and off. And always wear socks because going barefoot through airport security is just really gross. This guy in the video not only had extra articles of clothing to worry about, but he didn't plan properly, and so he's having to ask the TSA agent questions while in line. Then he's thinking about taking his belt off, then his hat, and oops, he forgot his wallet in his pocket. You see, he's distracted. This is a point we're going to get back to later, but remember, his wallet is all alone in the bin out in the open. What you need to do to avoid this kind of situation is consistency. Notable people like Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, and Barack Obama tend to have straightforward wardrobes, at least in their professional lives. Einstein often bought several versions of the same gray suit and sweater, and Obama does something similar. He said in an interview, quote, "You'll see I only wear gray or blue suits. I'm trying to pare down decisions. I don't want to make decisions about what I'm eating or wearing because I have too many other decisions to make." There's an entire fascinating field into how humans make decisions, but for our purposes here, basically what you want to do when you're going through airport security and even before you show up at the airport is reduce the number of decisions that you have to make. And you can do this by having on as simple of an outfit as possible. That means don't wear a hat, try to wear pants that don't require a belt, don't wear jewelry, and remember, if you've got a jacket on, that jacket's going to have to come off before you go through the x-ray machine. Keep your toiletries and check luggage if you have one, but if you're going carry-on only, ensure that all of your liquids and aerosols are below the limits that are set at the airport, zipped in their own bags, and placed close to zippers in a pocket that's easily accessible since you're most likely going to have to remove these items when you go through airport security. The next step in preparation is with your electronics, and again, this one starts at home. You want to pack the same way every single time. And it doesn't have to be a complicated system, just make sure that it's consistent. Some basic things like, you're going to have to take your tablet out, so keep it here in the front, so where it's easily accessible. Same thing goes for the laptop. Just make sure that it's easily accessible, know where it is every single time, and just plan in your head, you're going to have to take this out when you go through airport security. And if you have other larger items like a switch or a camera, try to pack those in their own pouches so you can take them all out at once. You want to minimize the number of items you have to put in the bins at airport security, and bundling them is a good strategy. Preparation is important, so streamline the experience best to your particular needs. The less time you spend not taking off clothes or pulling out electronics, the more you can spend watching your stuff when it's by itself. There are some other important steps that you can take to protect your valuables at airport security, and one major one is your phone, your wallet, cash. All those other valuables, don't even have those in your pocket when you show up at airport security. When you're in the line way before you get to airport security, make sure you place these important items in your backpack so they're not in your pockets. You want to do this as early as possible when you're in line as an added layer of protection so that the security agents won't see where you're placing your valuables. You know you'll have to empty your pockets, so take out your wallet, phone, and other valuables, change, cash, all of that stuff, and place them deep into your backpack, zipped up. This way you don't have to take them out at the last second and place them out in the open in a bin. Back to our TSA video, you can see how the agents prefer wallets left out in the open and small bags they can slowly unzip. Purses and handbags are more tempting, but a wallet in a backpack is a tough target. First, the thief has to know it's in there, where the wallet is, and if you packed it under a bunch of other stuff, there isn't usually enough time for them to get to it. Never leave your phone, wallet, other valuables, cash. Never leave those out in the open in a bin. Place those in a backpack. Try to avoid placing them near zippers. And if you have loose zippers on your backpack, don't place your items there. So you basically want to stuff these sort of hidden in the backpack so that it's going to take too much time for somebody to find them. They're basically going to go for the easiest target. So if they see a wallet that's in the bin or a phone, that's going to be a much easier grab for somebody who's trying to steal your stuff. So if your things are already zipped up in your backpack, and way ahead of time so nobody has actually seen you put those in your backpack, you're going to protect yourself and make yourself a much more difficult target. Remember, like I've said in lots of videos, don't have to outrun the lion, you just have to outrun the person next to you. And now, since you bought yourself some extra time by doing all of this preparation before you got to the airport security line, there's something very valuable that you can do with that extra time, and that is watch your stuff. Especially on crowded days, you notice people throw their items into the bin and go straight to the x-ray line. What I recommend doing is staying with your bin until it goes through the x-ray machine. Keep an eye on it until then, and once your bag starts moving through the x-ray, then you can go through the x-ray yourself or the body scanner or whatever it is. You just want to make sure that you sort of try to time it with your bag so that both of you are going to be scanned at the same time. When your backpack, bag, and bin, when those are going through the x-ray machine, that's when they're the least vulnerable to theft since nobody can stick their hand in there. So you want to try to time you going through the x-ray machine or the full body scanner with your bag. So when your bag is going through the x-ray, that's when ideally you're going through the scanner. And if all the timing works out, Hopefully you both arrive out of that scanning area at the same time and you can go directly to your things. All the while your bag is slowly making its way into the x-ray machine, make sure that you keep your eyes on it, and when it pops out on the other side, if possible, make sure that you keep your eyes on it. Basically, by waiting by your bin and then timing you going through the x-ray scanner or body scanner while it goes through the x-ray machine, you're minimizing the amount of time that you don't have eyes on your stuff. Now, when I go through an airport, sometimes the agents will say, "Hey, you can go, you're fine." As I know, I'll wait with my things, and usually they don't have a problem with that. I've done that pretty much everywhere in the world. I wait with my bin when it goes through the x-ray machine, then I make my way through the x-ray scanner or whatever body scanner is there, and then I go right to my bin, waiting for it to come out on the other side. That way I'm maximizing the amount of time I have eyes on my stuff, and it minimizes the amount of time a thief has to covertly fish through my things to take out a wallet, cash, or just steal something valuable. You want to make sure that you're prepared, packed properly, and that your wallet, phone, cash, and other valuables are not in your pockets and that they're in your backpack, stuffed under as many layers as possible before you ever put them in a bin. The TSA agents from our video were stealing as much as $1,000 worth of stuff and cash every day. In the end, 3 agents were arrested and charged with organized crimes to defraud. Hopefully, theft at airport security is something that you'll never have to go through, and by following these steps, you've made yourself a more difficult target and reduced your chances. Don't forget, stay with your bin as much as possible before it goes through the x-ray machine, and maintain eye contact with it as much as possible when it comes out, and when you're done going through the scanner yourself, make sure that you get to your bin as soon as possible. Hopefully this video helps you reduce the chances of you experiencing some theft at airport security, but if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below, and while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.